Hey, what's going on guys? It's me, Aiden from Cartoon Apocalypse, and today we got two new episodes, and those two episodes are split into two, so basically four new episodes of Star vs. the Forces of Evil to talk about. Now, the way I'm going to format this week's episodes is I'm going to have one episode dedicated to the episode called Meteor's Lesson, and then one other video dedicated to the other three episodes, because the other three, to be honest, didn't have a lot of things in it to talk about that I at least wanted to talk about. So the main things that I wanted to get across were from the episode Meteor's Lesson, but then that other video will just be talking about the couple other points from each of the other episodes. So stay tuned for that video later. But today I'm going to be talking about Meteor's Lesson, and Meteor's Lesson had a lot of things in it that, some of it was just stuff that was fun, little extra information that now just kind of supports the lore of Star and is like, whoa, I never knew that was a thing. And then some of it is, plot related stuff. So let's go ahead and talk about it. Basically, Gianna is babysitting Meteora for Eclipsa as she's going to the Rich Pigeon's castle, likely for a meeting similar to one that she had with the Spider-Bite Kingdom, probably just to bond their alliance and things like that. So it is good to see that she actually got an opportunity with the Rich Pigeons to, have a meeting after the Spider-Bites. And this is a good sign for Eclipsa and her ruling, because this means that the other kingdoms, if her meeting with the Rich Pigeons went well, then it's likely that she will get, good opportunities to talk with the other kingdoms and just build relations with them as well. So that's a good sign to see that she's starting to branch out and, actually be able to talk to the other kingdoms. Now, if you know me, then you know that I'm personally against Meteora having her old memories back, and, her, just remembering that, Marco was like Princess Tardina and all that stuff. I'm just really against that because I just don't like the idea of it. But this episode's kind of they've been hinting it for a long time throughout season 4. And this episode's just at least it's proving that Meteora doesn't like Marco. And at the moment, we don't know if that's directly tied to her past or not. And I'm still gonna assume that it's not, and it's just a funny little gag. But, it is starting to get more serious to the point to where it could actually be something that is portrayed in the show. Now, one remark that Eclipsa made is, she really does take after her father, doesn't she? And this is really important because this is right after Meteora let out a vicious scream. And we know that Globgor is, feared by most people. He's a mumin eater. It's said that he's gone vegetarian, but for someone that everybody's scared of, to know that he is, a little vicious, or at least vicious in general, just according to this comment, it could be scary. That's a little concerning. If he starts to hold grudges, because if Eclipse was referring to the fact that Meteora just doesn't like Marco and so he's holding off as a grudge, then maybe she's referencing, well, Globgor maybe hates certain people. Or maybe it's Eclipsa saying, since Meteora hates, Marco, and he's a human slash, mumin, they're essentially the same thing, does Globgor actually not like mumins? What's going on here? So it is a little bit concerning, and I'm just super excited to see Globgor in action, because I want to see how he's going to fit in, and if he's actually going to be good or evil, or whatever the case may be, because it will certainly be interesting. Now, one fun thing that us Book of Spells readers will know is Ronaldo the Bald Pate. Now, this character is another member of the Magic High Commission, or at least was, and we know a lot about him from the Magic Book of Spells, and if you still haven't picked up that, I would really recommend it because it's a really good book to read. It's just, a fun little book that adds to the lore. So, Ronaldo the Bald Pate, it's funny to see him in the show, and if you are participating in the bingo cards, you might want to check out for him, because there was a a slot on there for certain people that said he might show up, so that'll be interesting to see. So yeah, that's another thing you can cross off if you're doing the bingo cards. Now, one really big thing is we actually get to see the very first queen of Muni. Glossaryck was the whole start to just this kind of Mumin empire. There were these 5 settlers, and they just kind of came out of nowhere, and Glossaryck gave them, Meteor's rattle, made a mill horse, and boom, they had a wand. Now, Glossaryck obviously knew to do this because this is what started the whole timeline, so he didn't just break the timeline, he actually made it what it is that we know now. So that's kind of where it is. Some people were kind of confused, like, well, did he just break the timeline? No, he actually made it. Like, if he didn't do that, then just everything would be weird because there would, like, probably be no Muni, or at least no magic, and things like that. So that's interesting. And we can see that these first Mewmons, they are in this, like, magic thing where, like, the sanctuary is, and we can assume that the sanctuary is made after Glossaryck because, to them, Glossaryck is, like, this big god that gave them power and things like that. So they're going to make a sanctuary that's dedicated to him, and that's why there's so much Glossaryck stuff in that magic sanctuary. Now, we don't know anything, like, about this person. All we know is that this lady has a wand, and that's, Glossaryck called her Mo, so maybe her name is, like, Mo, Queen of something. I don't know. But it will be interesting to see if this is explored further, or if this is just, a little small segment for those of us who are interested in, like, who was the very first, Muni Queen and things like that. So that's super interesting, and I don't know, I just thought that was super fun to see, just them kind of giving us a little bit of backstory as to, like, how everything kind of got started. So it's good to see. Now, moving ahead a little bit, we get to see Toffee again, and a lot of people are probably like, oh, Toffee, whoa, it's super cool to see him again. And I think this may be their way of saying, hey, we're not bringing back Toffee officially, but we'll give you some more glimpses of him because we know that he was such a loved character. Now, this is where the biggest thing, in my opinion, of this episode starts to come in, because Glossaryck is teaching Meteora how to dip down. Now, why is he doing this? I think what's going on here is, Glossaryck is Meteora's mentor, and just like every other princess, he has to teach them how to do magic and things like that. That's his job. And he teaches all of the princesses differently based on who they are, just etc. So it is interesting to see how he's starting to train Meteora, especially to dip down, something that Star learned when she was 14, and something that Moon learned when she was 18, or maybe it was 16, I'm pretty sure it was 18 though. And Meteora is learning when she's like 1 year old or 2 years old. Granted, she has had like many years of experience of just everything, but she's a baby now. We don't know like if she remembers that past or if she just has skill based on that experience, but Glossaryck knows what he's doing, and it's interesting to see because Meteora could potentially turn out to be this evil person, but Glossaryck at the end says that magic's in good hands, and Glossaryck does have some sort of future vision, so yeah, I don't know. So since Meteor did this green eye vision and we saw Toffee's eyes go all black again, that makes me assume that one of Meteora's like main powers that she just has is doing this like laser eye soul sucking vision thing. Now we don't exactly know like if that's directly related to magic or if it's because she's a monster or a monster Mewman hybrid. We don't know why she can do that, but she's able to dip down, do magic on her own, like way before Star was ever able to. So this is a little bit scary, like, well, what's gonna happen now? Is she like going to turn out okay like Glossaryck thinks? Or is she gonna go evil? Either way, she's turning out to be this really powerful person that, I don't know, could do a lot of things, and I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out where the show is headed as far as if they're going to have a main villain or what's kind of going on with that. Now, the episodes kind of are hinting that Mina might be like a main villain, like Coronation could feature Mina, and I mean, that's actually probably what's going to happen, and that'll probably be like one of the main showdowns, but it'll be interesting to see where this show heads, because there's not that many episodes left. We're about halfway through the season, and I mean, this is the last season, and where are they heading with this? Who's the main villain? It's way too late now to introduce somebody new, so it's probably either going to be Mina or Globgor, one of the two probably. But anyway guys, I think that's going to be it for this video. I did want to talk about Meteor's lesson in its own separate video because it does have a lot of things that are interesting and that I felt needed to, I wanted to talk about. So if you did enjoy this video, you can leave a like and subscribe for more content similar to this. But yeah, that's going to be it for me, and I'll talk to you guys later. Goodbye.
And boom goes the dynamite.